Okay, so we're on to lists. Hopefully this works. I've been having some audio problems today. So lists are completely different. They are a wonderful tool. They are a place for storing all kinds of items. They are ordered sequences that can hold a variety of object types, so you can put anything in them. You can put strings in them, numbers in them, floating, integers. You can put lists in them, you can put almost anything in the list. And you can put them in at the same time. So it's one. There can be different items list, different kinds of variables or values or anything. They use brackets commas to separate items in the list. They support indexing and slicing, and they can be nested in something. They can have a variety of useful methods called off them, and I'll show you. We'll go over some of them today. There's a lot more you can learn down the line. I'm not even going to learn them all in this course. So, for example, here's a example list setup. My list, I called it, equals 1, 2, 3. Notice how we use the brackets to identify that it's a list. So it's 1, 2, 3, but then, and I'll show you it's 1, 2, 3. Let's get rid of this. So we'll comment out the second line. So we'll run it, and it's 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to re-identify my list, and I'm going to change it into a string, a float, and an integer, all in the same list. And look, it all goes in the same list. So it's not, it doesn't have to be all strings or all numbers. It can be anything in the list. You can check out the length of it. So right now we have 1, 2, 3 items in the list, so the length should be 3, and it is. You can index and slice, just like we've seen before. So now I identified my list with no underscore as 1, 2, 3, and we'll print it out so you can see that that is indeed my list. 1, 2, 3. But now we could print. This doesn't actually change the list, it just indexes it, right? So we can see what number 1 is in the list, and it's the number 2. Remember, we're starting counting at 0 in programming, always do. Or we could print the first and the second. We start at 1 and we could move on to the end, so it shows the 2 and the 3. We can concatenate with like a list with a list. You could also do multiplication on a list, you'll see. Or anything to a list. So we have another list equals 4 and 5, and we still have our my list that equals 1, 2, 3, right? So we're going to print my list plus another list. So we're going to take the 1, 2, and 3, and now we're going to add it to the 4 and the 5. And we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that doesn't save the list as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still 2 separate lists. So to save it, we have to assign it to a new variable. So new list equals my list plus another list. Now that new list is saved in new list, and I'll show you. We'll just print the new list now, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can change a list. This is the interesting thing. Remember, strings, you can't change them. Lists you can. So now with our new list, I'm going to say at the 0 index, we're going to change it now is going to be 1 with capital letters. See over here, it's lowercase, and then we'll print the new list. Let's see what happens. Look, the 1 is changed from all lowercase to all capital. I replaced it. You didn't have to even replace it with the same thing. I could have replaced it with a number. Like let's change it to a number 1 and run it. And now 1 is in that spot. So you can change it to anything you want. And you can go in, and it didn't have to even be 1. I could have changed the second spot or the third spot. So you can change any number in there. Now I changed it back to normal. You can add to the list. So say you want to add something to the list. You use the append function here. Oops, new list. I delete the comment. So this is used as the dot append, and there's a bunch of different. I'll show you in just a second here. Let's see. So it pops up. We'll do the period. Oh, didn't work that time. Maybe another space here. Oh, it's not popping up right now. I'll get it to later. So use the append, and you can add something to the list. So we're appending 6. It's not replacing. It's just adding on. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can remove from the list. So now you can pop something off the end. So if you just do that with unspecified, it'll take the 6 back off. Watch. So it took the 6 off, but you can take anything off. Say I want to take out the 2, so I'd pop the 1, and now the 2 is gone. So you can specify which one you want to take off the list, or if you want to take the last one by default, you can also use the negatives. So you could take off the last one that way too. Same idea. You can also sort and reverse them. So we have letters and numbers that are out of order. So here's A, X, B, T, D, and 1, 7, 4, 3, 2, 8, 5, 6 out of order, right? So we can sort the letters by alphabetical order or the numbers by numeric order, and I'll do both those sorts, and then we'll print them. And now they're in order. Now you see the interesting thing here is the sort doesn't actually print anything. It doesn't actually store anything. It actually changes the original list. So now the list is sorted, and it wouldn't, when I print it out, it's not showing the unsorted anymore. So you can't put the sort into a variable. It would be empty. It doesn't store anything. It just does the activity. You can also reverse. So letters, print. We can do the exact opposite of what we just did. We'll put them in reverse order. Do the numbers, and you'll see. Now the letters are in backwards order and the numbers are in backwards order. So a lot of things you can do with lists. A lot of the stuff we didn't even show here. Let's see if I can get that to show. New list. Dot. Well, Tinker's not working right now. Trinket's not working right now. Oh, there it goes. See, there's a bunch of different functions you can do here. Append, count, extend. We're not going to go over these, but a lot more to learn if you want to. We'll get to do a few more of them later on. But that's lists. Next thing up is dictionaries, but I really encourage you to get in here, practice all these things, maybe create a shopping list or a list of your favorite songs or movies or TV shows or things to watch on Netflix, and try taking stuff off, putting stuff back on, replacing things, changing the letters. Do some different things with this so you can get practice using these. It's going to come up, factor in most of our future activities. So really important. Please let me know if you have any questions.